In a busy modern city, surrounded by glass towers and crowded streets, lived a young girl named Aisha. Every day, as she walked to school, she looked up at the tall buildings and bridges. Their strength and design fascinated her. She whispered to herself, "One day, I will build structures like these. I will be an engineer." But the moment Aisha shared her dream, laughter filled the room. Her relatives shook their heads. "Engineer? That's men's work. Girls are only meant to cook, clean, and raise children." Another uncle added cruelly, "Girls are like glass, beautiful but fragile. Push them too far, and they break." The words cut Aisha deeply, but inside her heart, a fire burned. Why should buildings only rise from men's hands? Strength does not come from gender. It comes from belief. At school, things were no easier. Some boys mocked her. "Go learn cooking. Leave engineering to us." Their voices echoed in her mind. But instead of breaking her, they sharpened her resolve. Aisha began to live two lives. In the daylight, she was just another student. But at night, when the city lights glowed, she filled notebooks with sketches of bridges, skyscrapers, and roads. She spent hours solving math problems and studying construction videos online. Her parents, though poor, saw her dedication and gave her quiet support. One afternoon, her science teacher, Mrs. Fern, found her sitting alone, staring at her half-finished assignment. "Aisha, why do you look so troubled?" she asked gently. Aisha hesitated before whispering, "Maybe they're right. Maybe engineering isn't for girls. What if I'm just chasing an impossible dream?" Mrs. Fern placed a hand on her shoulder. "Aisha, listen carefully. Society builds walls, but engineers like you are born to break them. If you rise, you will not only lift yourself, you will lift generations of girls after you." Those words sank into Aisha's heart. From that day, she made a promise. "I will not stop until I build something that proves them wrong." Months later, an opportunity arrived. The city announced a student innovation contest. Design a model of a building that could survive earthquakes. The challenge was tough, but Aisha's eyes lit up. This was her chance, but fear whispered again. What if you fail? What if they laugh? She clenched her fists and reminded herself, "Girls are not glass. I am steel." She began working day and night. She collected cardboard, wires, and clay. She built models, tested them, and rebuilt them whenever they collapsed. Her tiny room became a construction site. Her fingers bled from cutting. Her eyes burned from sleepless nights, but she refused to give up. When the contest day came, the hall buzzed with energy. Rows of polished models stood on tables, most built by boys. Some participants smirked at Aisha's simple setup. "That won't even stand in the wind," one said. But when it was her turn, Aisha stood tall. She explained how her model used a strong base and flexible joints designed to withstand shaking. Her voice, once shaky, grew powerful. She was not just showing a building, she was proving that girls could build the future. The judges tested the model. Many collapsed under pressure, but Aisha's building stood firm. The crowd gasped. The whispers of doubt turned into cheers. When the winners were announced, Aisha's name echoed through the hall. She had won. Tears filled her eyes as she stood on the stage. For the first time, she felt the weight of victory, not just for herself, but for every girl who had been told she was too weak or too fragile. Her parents hugged her tightly. Even the relatives who once mocked her now looked at her with respect. That evening, Aisha stood outside her window, staring at the skyline. The city lights flickered like stars, and she whispered, "One day I will not only design buildings, I will build a future where no girl is told she is weak." Her story spread through schools, newspapers, and homes. Girls began telling their parents, "If Aisha can, why not me?" Parents began to see their daughters differently. Aisha's journey taught a lesson society could no longer ignore. Gender does not decide destiny. Belief does. Hard work does. And so, the girl who was told to stay in the kitchen became the girl who designed foundations. She proved that girls are not glass to be broken. They are steel, unshakable, and strong enough to hold up the sky.